Going after your goals, your wants, your desires, and your dreams is going with the flow. Your inner being is guiding you to the home. Your inner being is guiding you to the car. Your inner being is guiding you to the lever. It is your desiring it and your wanting it that's putting it in your vortex, and it is your inner being that is guiding you in your inspired action every single step that you take that is getting you closer to your desire. Understanding this concept is so important because recently I've been dealing with a lot of fear. I've been dealing with a lot of fear of it's not working out, fear of what if it doesn't work out for me, fear of what if I don't get my desire, fear of is wanting it enough, is the fact that I want it enough. Who's to say that this shit that I'm wanting is actually coming to me, and why would it be coming to me? And the reason why I've been having this issue and this trouble is because up until this point, for a majority of my life, the resistance to following my inner being, the resistance to going with my own flow, the resistance has been so strong, and it's been coming where? From external forces. And external forces looks like your parents conditioning you against what you want to do. You want to become an artist. Your parents are like, no, don't become an artist. Artists don't make any money. Become a doctor. You want to become a doctor. Mom's going to love you forever if you become a doctor. So then you internalize that, and then you step out of your own internal guidance system and you tap into what other people want, and you're thinking, yes, I'm going to become a doctor because that'll make everybody happy, and then when everybody is happy, then I'll be worthy of love. Except you can never make them happy because you don't actually impact their emotions, right? So I've been thinking a lot about my past, and I've been thinking a lot about my history and my life, and the fact that I was in high school. Showing up, going with my own flow has often looked like showing up, acting out, and being resistant to others. This is my own flow, is me talking naturally with my loud voice, resistant to others who don't want to hear me speak. My own flow, me naturally communicating with people, bubbly personality, resistant to people that don't want to hear me speak in classroom when it's not appropriate to talk, whatever, right? So, this is important and this is relevant because when I was in high school, I was so going with my own flow. When I was in high school, I was so connected to my inner being. I was so connected to my inner being, and I didn't even know that I was connected to my inner being. I was so powerfully connected to my inner being. I look back at my high school experience, and I did the exact amount of work that I needed to do to get to the college that I needed to go to that would help me to consciously get on this journey and to be where I am, headed where I am consciously, right here and right now. If I had done any more work, if I had shown up, tapped out of myself, and forced myself to do homework morning, afternoon, and night, didn't have any of those life experiences, all of that good stuff, if I had forced myself to do that, if I had forced myself to get the better grades that we all know that I could have, it's not about it's not about dumb, it's about I don't want to, right? If I had forced myself to do that, instead of allowing myself to listen to The Office, instead of allowing myself to be on Tumblr, instead of allowing myself to have fun, instead of allowing myself to do hood rat shit with my hood rat friends, if I had done all of that, then I would have went to a different college. I just would have been on a completely different life path. My life path that I have been creating for myself for all of my life never at any point required me to be the student who was doing all of her homework the second that she got home every day. That's just not who I am. But to everybody else in the world, it seems like that's who you have to be, right? To everyone else in the world, it seems like that's resistant. To everyone else in the world, it seems like, oh no, you're not doing a good job. Oh no, you're not going to go to college. Oh no, you're not going to be successful. Even when I went to college, I was really, really successful in college, and I did all of this other shit. I really wasn't spending my time doing homework. I was still procrastinating. Why? Because I wanted to live my life. I wanted to enjoy my life. There's a time for work and there's a time for play. And in a hyper masculine society, we focus so much of our energy, time, and effort on not playing, right? So me deciding to do what I did, live the way that I lived when I was in high school, going to college, I felt like applying to colleges and getting into colleges was me fighting against. In hindsight, it was me going with my own flow. I was naturally called to New York. I was naturally called to all of these other colleges. I was naturally called on this path. Oh, it happened so synchronistically for me. I literally was just like, hey, you're looking at colleges all over the world. What about New York? Look up colleges in New York City. They don't have any HBCUs here, but hey, why the fuck not? And then you just so happen to align with the right one at the right time, and the rest is fucking history. That moment would have never happened had I been listening to everybody outside of me and what they wanted for me to be and what my parents wanted me to be and the grades that I was supposed to have so that I could be the daughter that they're proud of. But now I'm going to be the daughter that they're really, really proud of. Dad, ancestors looking down at me from heaven. Oh my God, look at her fucking go. You know what I mean? And a couple of years ago, I was fighting against everything to align with this. And so all of this is really important. It's really relevant because we're reframing our relationship with our desires. And does the universe want me to have what I want? And who's to say that this is all naturally happening for me? Tapping into your inner being and learning to go with the flow. You're not going with the flow of the universe that is a force outside of you that is acting on you. Going with the flow is going with your own flow, going with your own stream, going with your own stream of consciousness that you are directing with every single rocket of desire that you are shooting out there. You're going with your own flow. You're following your own desires. You're going your own way, right? I'm telling myself this story that I have to fight against to get to where I want to be. I have to fight against everybody who told me I wasn't going to go to college because of my grades. I have to fight against everybody who told me that colleges were going to see the D's and F's on my transcripts and we're going to throw my fucking application in the trash and I'm going to be nothing because I made a mistake when I was 14 years old. What the fuck? Me naturally tapping into my inner being and going on this journey for the past 2 years, healing, actively working to release resistance that has felt like fighting against my fear, fighting against my worry, fighting against conditioning, fighting against. And then at some point you get to this place where it's like living life the way that you used to live it, having to fight against something to get to where you want to be isn't working for you anymore. And that's why there's so much contrast. That's why there's so much freaking out. Because there is no big boss that you're fighting against. There is no teacher that you're proving wrong. There is no proving yourself. There is no more self-doubt. It's just, I want this thing and I'm allowing my inner being to align me with this thing, and I'm allowing myself to have as much fun as I possibly can on the journey to my receiving and experiencing this thing, and then I get to do it another time and then another time and then another time, and I'm just enjoying my life and getting everything that I fucking wanted. What? I'm sitting here freaking out because now I'm recognizing I'm turning that corner, entering into this new segment of life where it's no longer about fighting against. You're not fighting against anything. You're cruising. You're aligning. You're going with your own natural flow. Which means for me, I work when I want to work. I don't work when I don't want to work. And everything always works out for me. And I am becoming the woman who can show up consistently on social media. And that's going to happen because I'm going to allow and support in some way, shape, or form so that things align so perfectly for me, whatever. Because I'm no longer the person who says you have to show up and you have to do this, otherwise you won't be successful. And then you rebel against that and then end up being successful anyway. I beat the odds. Who would have thought? Everybody would have thought. Because it was never part of my life path to do what everybody else was telling me to do what everybody else had done before me. Because I have a whole bunch of Aries energy in my chart. I'm a trailblazer. I'm the person who does a thing that's never been done before. I'm the person who simply must go my own way and have my own experience. I'm paving the way for others. You don't pave the way for others listening to what everybody outside of you is telling you that you have to do. So, why did I start this? What was the very beginning of this? I really don't have much else to say here. It feels like resistance. It feels like I am fighting to get this X, Y, and Z thing, and it's just recognizing the fight is over. The fight is done. At some point, you're done fighting. Because I don't fight my resistance anymore. I don't fight my fear anymore. I love, honor, and accept my fear, and I feel it wholly and completely. Because whatever you resist persists. I'm not fighting against the way that people will see me anymore. I'm not fighting against any specific outcome. Because I know that no matter what happens, I'm going to be okay. The universe is going to work it out for me. And so now I'm at this point where you have no other choice but to focus on your desire. You have no other choice but to focus on what it is that you want instead of what you don't want. Because the universe is naturally pulling you to it. The universe is naturally aligning you with the more money. The universe is naturally aligning you with your desires. Sometimes it just looks different from what somebody outside of you is telling you that you have to be or how you have to show up. And that's okay. It's about trusting yourself. I'm just in this place where I'm recognizing that it's okay to trust myself, even when my behaviors and my mannerisms look counterproductive. Oh my God, if I could go back to high school, I would tell myself, do even less work. I was worry less. I was never doing that fucking homework. I was never doing that. I could have created all of the plans in my motherfucking journal. I'm going to do this at this time and this at this time. That's just not who the fuck I am. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about the GPA. Don't even worry about the grades. Because what I was going to say Abraham Hicks, no. Like Alexander Hamilton, you're going to write your way out. Don't even fucking trip. Don't even worry about it because the universe has your back. Because things are always being orchestrated perfectly. Just because you don't see it, just because you don't know it, doesn't mean that it's not happening in that perfect, divinely orchestrated way. And that's ultimately the message. There is no wrong move. There is no mistake you can make that's going to ruin it and sabotage it forever because your actions aren't determining your worthiness. There's no action that you're taking where your inner being is going to go, oop, yep, you were in alignment. You were going to be on the way to your goals. But because you made that mistake, wrong. No, it's always the opposite. Every single time you look back at what I thought was a mistake, what I thought was the worst thing in the world, and you think, oh no, that was so good. I'm so happy I did that. I'm so grateful for that mistake. I'm so grateful for that thing that I thought that I wanted that didn't work out because I actually didn't want that. And that wasn't really tied and connected to my inner being. And now that I have this knowing and this understanding, I know that I want this instead. I know that this is who I am and all of these other things, right? So that's your message. It's literally all working out for you. And the universe is not your parents. Something in my throat. The universe is not your parents. The universe is not your teachers. The universe is not your preacher. The universe is not ever guiding you outside of yourself. So you don't have to listen to anybody that is guiding you away from your inner being. Tapping in, connecting, being in alignment with your inner being is being on the way to your goals, being on the way to your desires. It's being in the receptive mode. Okay? I hope that you understood this. If you loved this, if you want help, clarity, understanding, I have a free offer, free gift. It's a digital journal. You can get it using the link in the description. You can also come work with me or get any of my other tools using the links down below. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.